No matter what happens, it can't be any worse than what Splatmedo did to him, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't want to Google it. Sonic the Hedgehog is a new movie about the highly popular Speed of Sound running video game character. Sonic has been living on Earth in the woods of Green Hills, Montana for the last 10 years of his life, hiding out from creatures in other dimensions hunting him for his superpowers. But when he accidentally causes a mass power outage, he now has a new nemesis in the maniacal tech genius Dr. Robotnik, who's coming after him to use his powers for his own desires. Sonic winds up on the run with the town sheriff, Tom, and they take a cross-country trip to San Francisco to retrieve Sonic's lost bag of teleporting rings. Why Tom doesn't just give him a map and let him run over there himself, I don't know. But on the way, Sonic finds a connection with another that he never had before during his time on Earth. If you hadn't heard, because you live under a rock, there was a gigantic outcry on the internet when the first trailer dropped in April of last year, and viewers saw the horrible design of the character. I'm not even a huge Sonic fan, and I was thinking, what is that? A reject from Cats? Because it didn't look quite creepy enough?
Meow?
But in an unprecedented move, the director Jeff Fowler took to Twitter to announce that the complaints were heard and changes were going to be made. Backing up the release date a few months, the filmmaker spent an extra $5 million to redesign Sonic. The second trailer met with joyful reception as it revealed Sonic to look far more like himself, while also keeping the details in his fur and quills. Some people think it was a conspiracy, that it was their plan all along to be criticized and then switch out the design to gain the publicity. I would have to doubt that, because if it was true, I would think that they would plan it in such a way that they wouldn't have to delay the release date. And in the last 6 months or so, Jeff Fowler has been sharing a lot of Sonic fan art on Twitter, and Paramount Pictures even put together a compilation video of fans reacting to that second trailer. It's clear that Paramount and Sega have great appreciation for their fan base, and that made me want to support this movie, even though I've never played any of the games myself, though I did watch a few Let's Plays to get the gist of Sonic before seeing the movie. So we got the right design for the character, but how does the rest of the movie fare? It's an enjoyable family romp. On top of the character's design, they got Sonic's personality traits right too. He was smart aleck, he had a really likable ego, and one thing I have to applaud this movie for doing even before the redesign was not casting some big current celebrity to voice Sonic. Instead it has Ben Schwartz, who has had some on-screen roles but has a longer record as a voice actor, and he's great for the part of Sonic. I also liked James Marsden as the sheriff, even though this was a role that was obviously written for Chris Pratt, who couldn't take it because of scheduling conflicts. There's a part where he chases away some raccoons saying, "Get out of here, you trash pandas!" Definitely meant for Chris Pratt. Being about a 90s game character, it's clear that this movie is going for a 90s vibe, and this really shows in the casting of Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. He is doing his thing, being the cartoonishly maniacal fop like he's playing the Mask or the Riddler, his basic 90s shtick that made him famous, and he cracked me up. The soundtrack also contains some 90s songs to help bring in those vibes, but they conflict with some tracks from current artists like Ex-Ambassadors, so there's a nostalgic feel and a modern feel clashing occasionally. The action scenes are fun and energetic, though there are a couple of scenes, like one in a country club where a bar fight ensues. Sonic takes advantage of his speed and everything else is in slow motion, as he positions everyone to knock themselves unconscious and whatnot while he feasts on chili dogs. Scenes like that are entertaining, but they're unmistakable rip-offs of Quicksilver moments from the X-Men movies. Though considering how Sonic is a decades-old character known for his speed, maybe they would have thought of those scenes anyway. And about that scene in the bar, as Sonic and Tom are seated, a waitress is naturally confused by Sonic's appearance. Tom tries to explain that he's a 43-year-old man who has a disorder that stunts his growth and makes his skin blue and fuzzy. Putting aside that the waitress believes this, Sonic interacts with other people there, and no one seems to find it the least bit peculiar that there's a talking animated critter there. There's also one action sequence that is still fun, but a little incomplete. It's a chase scene on a freeway where Robotnik has this wide vehicle chasing Sonic and Tom in their pickup truck. The vehicle shoots these discs, and one of them attaches to the bottom of a family's minivan and immobilizes it, causing them to spin and stop perpendicular to the road. We see Sonic and Tom zoom past them, which means that wide vehicle is coming next, but we don't see what happens to the family. That thing is fast approaching, without a doubt going to flip the minivan into the air. We better just not show that happening. Since it's a film that isn't trying to be anything more than a simple family-friendly adventure, I wasn't vexed by all the familiar story beats that it hits. Though there are instances where the writing didn't have to be so obvious, like the human hero saying to the villain, "That thing is more human than you'll ever be." In every movie about a human befriending something non-human and the bad guy is trying to capture it, even in ones that I like Bumblebee, they always have to throw in that cliched line. I did like the way that they made loneliness a part of Sonic's story, with him living hidden from everyone for the last 10 years. In an amusingly edited scene early in the movie where Sonic plays baseball with himself, he gets incredibly lost in his imagination that he's celebrating a victory with others, and then he suddenly remembers, oh yeah, I'm the only one here. I've had times like that, especially since I moved out, where I've gotten wrapped up in my imagining of interacting with someone, and then suddenly snapped back into reality. So, wow, even if it was just for a second, this movie got me relating to a blue cartoon hedgehog. I've seen some people say that they're not fond of the idea of a Sonic movie that takes place in the real world, but if you don't mind that, you'll enjoy this movie. It's a flick made for the fans, packed with Easter eggs that I was even able to pick up after watching a few Let's Plays. There were a few times during the movie where some Sonic fans sitting behind me were squealing with excitement. It's formulaic, not a risk-taking movie, but it's a good-natured throwback to 90s family films. Scoring on the Factor Facts, Sonic the Hedgehog gets a 60%. It's no masterpiece, but it's a good enough time that I recommend seeing it. While other studios attack the fans whenever there's a backlash, negative reception, or a poor box office run, it's refreshing to see this level of respect for a fan base, and I think it's fair that we return the appreciation. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this review helpful. Like and share, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop.